You just spent 45 minutes giving your dog a bath. Shampoo, conditioner, the works. You dried them off. They smell like lavender and coconuts for about 6 hours. Then you go to cuddle on the couch that night, and there it is. That smell, that unmistakable, musty, slightly sour, did something die in here smell. And you're sitting there thinking, I just bathed you. How are you already stinky again? If you've ever crawled into bed, pulled the covers up, caught a whiff of dog funk, and wondered if you're losing your mind, you are not alone and you are not crazy. There is almost always a real, physical, fixable reason your dog smells bad, even right after a bath. It is very rarely just a dog thing. Dogs are not supposed to reek. A healthy dog with a healthy coat, when bathed properly, should smell like basically nothing. Maybe a faint, warm, doggy smell that's pleasant, not offensive. So today I'm going to walk you through exactly why this happens, the 5 most common hidden causes, and then I'm going to give you the actual step-by-step fixes that work, not just try a different shampoo advice that doesn't get to the root of the problem. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly why your house smells like a wet gym bag and exactly what to do about it. Before we get into it, if you own a dog, you're going to want this info saved for later, so hit subscribe right now. It takes 1 second. Seriously, just tap it and it means the world to this channel. And while you're at it, drop a comment below with your dog's breed. I read every single one, and I actually want to see how many of you have the same stinky dog struggle I'm about to describe, because certain breeds deal with this way more than others. So comment your breed, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into why your dog smells like a swamp monster. Here's the first thing you need to understand. A bath washes away surface dirt and surface odor. It does not fix the source of the smell if the source is underneath the surface. Think of it like spraying air freshener in a room with a mold problem. It smells better for 20 minutes, and then the mold is still there doing its thing. Dog odor almost always comes from one of 5 places: skin bacteria or yeast overgrowth, ears, infection or wax buildup, anal glands, full or impacted glands, mouth, dental disease, coat care mistakes, wrong products or improper drying. A regular bath with regular shampoo does basically nothing for 4 of those 5 categories. That's why you can bathe your dog every single week and still have a smelly dog. You're cleaning the outside while the actual problem lives somewhere else entirely. So let's go through each one, because I guarantee at least one of these is your dog's issue. Because number 1, yeast and bacterial overgrowth on the skin. This is by far the number 1 reason dogs smell bad even after bathing. Dog skin naturally has a small population of yeast, specifically a type called Malassezia, and bacteria living on it. In a healthy dog, this population stays small and causes 0 problems. But certain things throw that balance off. Allergies, excess oil production, humidity, skin folds, poor diet, or underlying health conditions. When that happens, the yeast and bacteria multiply out of control. And here's the part that explains your exact situation. Yeast overgrowth has a very specific smell. People describe it as musty, like corn chips or like a sour bread smell. Bacterial overgrowth often smells more like a sweaty, rancid odor. The reason a bath doesn't fix this is simple. Regular shampoo isn't designed to reduce yeast or bacteria populations. It's designed to remove dirt and oil. You could bathe a dog with a yeast overgrowth every single day, and unless you're using a medicated shampoo, that yeast population bounces right back within a day or 2, because you haven't actually changed the environment on the skin. How do you know if this is your dog's issue? A few signs to look for: red or dark thickened skin, especially in the armpits, groin, between the toes, or in skin folds; greasy feeling fur; itchiness or excessive licking of the paws or belly; and of course that specific musty or corn chip smell that seems to come from the skin itself rather than the coat. Cause number 2, ear infections. This one surprises a lot of people because they're so focused on the coat that they forget the ears are part of the equation. But ear infections are incredibly common, especially in floppy-eared breeds like Cocker Spaniels, Basset Hounds, and Labradors, and dogs that swim a lot.
Here's the thing about ear infections. The smell can be strong enough to make an entire dog seem stinky, even if you're smelling the dog's head from a few feet away and not specifically sniffing the ear canal. A yeast or bacterial ear infection produces a very distinct, often sour or musty odor, sometimes described as smelling like old cheese or rotten fruit. If you bathe your dog and you're not specifically cleaning and checking the ears, you might be washing a perfectly clean coat while completely ignoring an active infection just a couple inches away. Signs to check for: dark discharge in the ear canal, redness inside the ear flap, your dog shaking their head a lot or scratching at their ears, and visible buildup of wax or debris. Cause number 3, anal gland issues.
Okay, this is the one nobody wants to talk about, but it might be the most important one on this list because it causes a very specific, very recognizable smell that a lot of owners mistake for general dog stink. Every dog has two small glands located on either side of the anus. These glands secrete a fluid with a very strong, fishy, almost metallic odor. It's actually a scent marking fluid, kind of like a signature smell dogs use to identify each other. Normally, these glands empty naturally every time your dog has a bowel movement, and you never notice a thing, but sometimes the glands don't empty properly. This is really common in smaller breeds, overweight dogs, and dogs with softer stools. When the glands don't empty on their own, the fluid builds up and eventually it can leak out, get expressed when your dog is scared or excited, or your dog will scoot or lick at the area trying to relieve the pressure themselves, which spreads that fishy smell all over their fur, honestly, sometimes all over your couch. Here's the key giveaway. If the smell is fishy or metallic rather than musty or sour, and especially if it seems to come and go or gets worse after your dog has been sitting or lying down, impacted anal glands are very likely your answer. Cause number 4, dental disease. This one's sneaky because most people don't associate bad breath with overall body odor, but dental disease produces bacteria that doesn't stay contained to the mouth. It gets on your dog's paws when they groom themselves. It transfers to their coat, their bedding, basically everywhere they touch. By the time a dog is about 3 years old, the vast majority have some degree of dental disease if their teeth haven't been cared for. We're talking tartar buildup, gum inflammation, sometimes even infected teeth. That bacterial buildup produces a distinctly foul, almost rotten smell, and dogs constantly lick themselves, which spreads bacteria-laden saliva across their fur. If your dog's breath could clear a room, don't be surprised if their overall body smell is bad too, no matter how many baths you give them. Cause number 5, improper drying and wrong products. Finally, sometimes the issue isn't a health problem at all. It's actually a mistake in the bathing process itself. This is really common and it's an easy fix once you know what's happening. Here's the deal. Dogs have a dense undercoat, and if you towel dry your dog and then let them air dry the rest of the way, especially in a humid bathroom or a cool room, that undercoat stays damp for hours, sometimes most of the day. Damp fur next to skin is basically a bacteria breeding ground. That's where the classic wet dog smell comes from. It's not actually water that smells, it's bacteria multiplying in a moist environment. So even though your dog was clean when you finished the bath, by the time they're fully dry, bacteria has already had hours to multiply, and the smell comes right back. Add to that using the wrong shampoo. Human shampoo is way too harsh for a dog's skin pH and strips natural oils, which actually causes the skin to overproduce oil in response, making dogs smellier over time, not less. Or not thoroughly rinsing shampoo out, which leaves residue that traps dirt and bacteria. Quick reminder before we get into the fixes, if this is helping you figure out your dog's specific issue, subscribing genuinely helps this channel keep making these videos. So go ahead and tap that button now if you haven't. And seriously, go drop your dog's breed in the comments. I want to see what we're working with out there. All right, let's fix this. I'm going to go through each cause and give you the real solution. For skin yeast or bacterial overgrowth, you need a medicated shampoo, specifically one containing chlorhexidine, miconazole, or ketoconazole. These are the ingredients that actually reduce yeast and bacterial populations, unlike regular shampoo. Let the shampoo sit on the skin for a full 10 minutes before rinsing. This contact time is what actually does the work. If the smell and skin issues persist after 2 to 3 weeks of consistent medicated baths, it's time for a vet visit because this can sometimes point to underlying allergies that need to be addressed at the root, like a food sensitivity or environmental allergy. For ear infections, clean your dog's ears regularly with a vet-approved ear cleaner, especially after baths or swimming, since trapped moisture in the ear canal is often what starts the infection in the first place. If you see dark discharge, redness, or your dog is shaking their head constantly, that needs a vet visit for proper medication. Ear infections don't resolve with cleaning alone once they're established, and letting it go can lead to more serious, painful complications. For anal gland issues, this is genuinely one of the fastest odor fixes on this entire list. A groomer or vet can manually express the anal glands in about 30 seconds, and the fishy smell is often gone almost immediately. If your dog deals with this repeatedly, ask your vet about adding more fiber to their diet, since firmer stools naturally help express the glands during normal bowel movements. For dogs with chronic issues, some vets recommend having them expressed on a regular schedule, like every 4 to 6 weeks. For dental disease, start brushing your dog's teeth regularly with dog-specific toothpaste, Never human toothpaste, it's toxic to dogs. Dental chews and water additives can help between brushings. If there's already visible tartar buildup or gum redness, your dog likely needs a professional dental cleaning at the vet, which happens under anesthesia and can make a dramatic difference in overall odor almost overnight. For improper drying, this is an easy one. After towel drying, use a blow dryer on a cool or low heat setting and actually get down to the skin, not just the surface of the coat, especially for double coated breeds. Make sure your dog is completely dry, not just mostly dry before you consider them done. This alone eliminates the classic wet dog smell for a huge number of dogs. For wrong products, switch to a dog-specific pH-balanced shampoo and always rinse thoroughly, and I mean thoroughly, way longer than feels necessary, because leftover residue is a magnet for dirt and odor-causing bacteria. A few bonus habits that help everything on this list: brush your dog regularly between baths. This distributes natural skin oils evenly through the coat instead of letting them build up in one spot, and it removes debris before it has a chance to trap odor. Don't overbathe. Bathing too frequently, more than once every few weeks for most dogs, strips natural protective oils and can actually make skin issues worse. And take a look at your dog's diet. A diet rich in omega-3 fatty acids supports healthy skin and a healthy coat from the inside out, which is honestly one of the most underrated fixes for chronic doggy odor. One last important note: if you've ruled out all of these causes, or if the smell is accompanied by other symptoms like lethargy, changes in appetite, excessive thirst, or changes in urination, please get your dog checked by a vet. In rare cases, a sudden change in body odor can be linked to underlying conditions like kidney or liver issues or diabetes. It's not common, but it's worth ruling out, especially if nothing else on this list seems to explain the smell. So next time your dog stinks right after a bath, don't just reach for a different shampoo and hope for the best. Check the skin, check the ears, check those anal glands, check the teeth, and make sure you're drying them all the way through. 9 times out of 10, the real answer is in this list. If this video helped you finally figure out what's going on with your dog, do me a favor and hit subscribe, drop your dog's breed in the comments so I can see who's dealing with this, and give this video a like so more dog owners can find it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.